Hey guys, welcome to the front porch of the lodge here. We are still in build mode, as you can tell. Just finishing up on a long day inside the building here. Uh, Hopefully going to be able to give you more than a sneak peek than this quick. It's getting close. It's one of those deals. I was joking with somebody the other day. It was kind of, I'd rather it be months away than inches, you know. So putting as much as I can in the building, and in the evening doing just exactly what we're doing right now. Got I'll flip you around here so you can see kind of a view from the front porch here. Blessed enough, don't mind the steel and the pallets and everything else laying around, but this is the view from the front porch. As you can see, there's get the pen here. There's 4 bucks on this slope here. There's 2 on the top right now, and then there's a couple up here. So this is ag. This is where the corn is. And then down here is all plots, which you can't see from the road, but you can see from the building here. This is one plot here. Stops about right there, and then there's this big drainage that goes up through here that's not planted. That's all in the CRP, and it's planted at the switch, and then it picks up another plot where the deer are at there, and then that food plot goes all the way up around the hill. So this in the evenings, after a long day inside the lodge, got me thinking tonight as I'm sitting here, getting geared up for a busy weekend inside the lodge here. We're putting the steel, corrugated steel on the ceiling. Got me thinking as I'm sitting here from the porch. Very blessed to be able to have the opportunity to, you know, sit here and view deer like this without bumping them. Kind of leads us to tonight's topic. I think there's 3. Sometimes we look at, you know, a lot of the do's. What should we be doing to the farm, and how should we be doing this? How should we be doing that? But not a lot. Videos are focused on what we should not be doing, and I think this time of the year it's very important, very, very important. And 3 of those things that I see commonly every year, and some folks that continuously do it around the country, and I think it's just depending on what region you're from. I think some of these are just kind of second nature. We're kind of, it's kind of bred into us, if you will. You know, they've been doing that for so long, it's hard to break those bad habits. So the number one thing that I'm gonna tell you guys here tonight, just had, as we're talking here, just had one of my hit lister poke his head out in the plots here. What we're gonna touch on tonight here, guys, is this: 3 topics, do nots in August. Now these are do not through the rest of the year, but they're especially a hot topic right now. So 3 do nots. 1, probably in no particular order here, but this one's very important. I see a lot of folks doing what I'm doing right now as far as viewing deer. Everybody's got the itch, right? August and September. I don't see a lot in the state of Kentucky or any September opener state, even Wisconsin, as much, because you know, September is go time, right? We're in the woods. What I see a lot of this is I see a lot of the folks going to their hunting houses, their shooting houses, their blinds, taking the video cameras and videoing deer from the blinds. I also see folks, you know, pulling up to a field, getting out of the truck, walking down field hedgerows, and videoing from what we believe is afar. So to me, you know, I was just as guilty as that as anyone. Years ago, I've got some footage that I could show you from the state of Michigan that, you know, as 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, I was fortunate enough to be able to sit on my neighbor's hay fields out behind our property where I grew up and video deer. Now that was back in when VHS and the camera weighed about 30 pounds, right? Tote that thing all the way back there. Take mother's home video camera, which she just loved, I'm sure, and sit on the edge of the field. But little did I know what I was really doing. I was starting a chain of pressure, guys, that you cannot stop. Um, Viewing from a distance, like I'm doing right now at the house, I'm sitting here talking with you guys. The deer are 200 yards away in the food plots where we want them in the evenings, and none of them have their heads up right now. I've got some screening. The corn density, I've got a big valley between us. I'm not walking out of bean fields. I'm not walking across areas and really disturbing anything. I'm just walking to my truck and starting my truck and, and driving down the driveway. Most evenings I do that and I leave and the deer are still there. Now, what I say, don't take that to the blinds, are this, guys, is because once you start that pressure, that chain of pressure that I speak of, it's hard to stop it. And there's so many other people, they're getting, every person in the world is looking at velvet bucks right now, and I'm one of those, don't get me wrong, stopping on the roads, glassing deer, and so not only are they getting pressured from the roads, then we go out into the blinds, we're getting pressure in the blinds, we're making those scent trails, we're putting that identification and that noise around those blinds, and we start the pressure of food plot pressure before we even have to worry about hunting the food plots, which we don't, right? But we start that pressure way, way, way sooner than it has to start. So I'm all about viewing velvet bucks like we're doing this evening. I do a lot of evenings here, under a covered porch with a cold drink and sitting here watching from afar. Highly recommend doing that. Highly recommend doing it from the truck. My days of guiding, we spend a lot of days in the vehicles, glassing from afar. I've always told everybody this, as when going back to my days of guiding. Like I said, I would rather, if I paid for a hunt, early season hunt especially, I had 5 days to hunt, I would rather scout from a distance with a pair of glasses 3 of those 5 days and hunt the other 2. Like I said, especially early season. That's how powerful it can be. But once you go out into that timber and you create that pressure and you're doing that scouting from internal, don't be upset when you climb into that blind and that pressure has already started before your season even gets kicked off, right? So that's number one. Number two, I see a lot of folks doing is carrying their targets, their morel or their block targets, let's say, to the tree stands and shooting. Mackenzie deer targets, go to the tree stand. You get up in your tree stand that you're going to be hunting out of and shooting from that. Guys, that's a huge, huge no-no in my book. That stuff all needs to be done. I'm all about shooting from an elevated platform. Don't recommend shooting from the roof. I'm just as guilty as that as anybody. I've done that. Did that. We had a great place to do that in Michigan at the old house there. But if you're going to do that, make sure you're secured somehow, because I've seen that turn south a lot. But do that. Hang a stand in the yard. Shoot from an elevated platform. Get your angles right. We should all be shooting right now. I'm not shooting as much as I would like to be. Still got a little arrow tune stuff that I'm gonna be playing with here a little bit. But that's all done from afar. And number three, like I said, no particular order, but they're all very important. Number three, guys, is the old trail camera. This year, feel very blessed. This whole farm is cellular. Yep, I've got a pretty hefty cell phone bill and also a cell camera bill, right? But it's not every month, and it's well worth it. I'm telling you, it's a huge, huge game changer. Not only are they all cell cameras this year, they are all solar. 2 months, 2.5 months, I think I'm into the cameras, and they're still full. No batteries, no less batteries, nothing. All the stands are prepped, and we're completely out of the farm. We dropped the feeders in, and the pressure is now kept low. The only thing we have left to do is to plant our fall food plots. Do not take sell them old cameras, as far as, and I say old, I don't mean that if you're, still using regular SD carded cameras that you're old school, because they're very effective, but by all means, go the extra mile to try to keep those close. Guys, if you have cells, put the cell cameras deep in the back, and then bring those, I just got squirrel mentality here. Another one of our bucks just popped out of the corn. Uh, if you have those cell cams, put those way back in the back, and then put your other cameras up there where you can get a hold of them a little quicker at field edges, mineral stations, licking branches maybe that are on the edge of field, stuff like that, guys. Food source cameras, if you have some stuff on your food plot, something you can drive the buggy up to and grab those cameras, because like I said, huge fan of cell cameras, or trail cameras in general. Even more now a fan of the cell cam and the plan and what it has to offer. And I know it's not for everybody, but if you have the chance to do that, I highly recommend the Tacticam Reveals. I have the X and the 2.0s here, and I'll show you some pictures as we're going here. I love them. So do not start that chain of pressure of those cameras going in every week, every 3 days. Got some folks that I kind of see on social media a lot that go in every 3 days. They're pulling cards, and guys, that chain, I think it's I don't think it's any fault of anybody intentionally doing that, right? But it's such a game changer. It's such a pressure it's such a pressure starter that I think a lot of people just don't realize that happens. And if you learn nothing from this channel other than pressure related topics, and one of those huge pressure related topics is not pulling your cards too often. And like I said, a lot of folks just go in this time of the year and pull your cards, right? Well, you get into season, you don't go pull those cards until you hunt. So in other words, why are you hunting those locations, or why are you pulling those cards in those locations unless the wind or something else is right? So I highly recommend, if you're going to go in there to do it on a rainy day. Go in and get those cards, do it on a rainy day. Do it when the wind is correct for that stand location where that camera's at. Hopefully you just don't have a bunch of willy-nilly cameras all over. But you're getting that inventory from the point of impacts, right? Something that you can hunt. That's what you're trying to get that inventory on. Everybody likes big, beautiful velvet pictures. I don't want a million velvet pictures of deer out in food plots, guys. I want big, beautiful bucks using licking branches, or using feeders, using the transition on the way to those sources, stuff like that. That I know that we can harvest those, and that's and it's easy right now. I obviously haven't pulled the card at all this year, so. Welcome to the front porch here, guys. First video from the front porch. I have a lot of these coming in the future, and we're going to grab the glasses here, and we're going to look at a couple of the bucks that come out for the rest of the evening. I hope everybody is enjoying the tail end of the summer here, going into fall, guys. We're getting close, and appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks.